You can have $2 million but your worst enemy gets $10 million. Would you accept it? Why or why not? I would get the $2 million. Then me and my wife can split the $10 million in the divorce. Yes. Now I know that my enemy has $10 million. I would spend $2 million on a van, staff, and equipment for a heist to abscond my enemy's $10 million. You need a really good van to steal $10 million. Yep. So what if my worst enemy gets more? I'll still have a couple million. I wonder if it's who you consider your worst enemy, or if it's like your true worst enemy. Maybe you're right, or maybe it's a complete shock. That moment when you get 12 million. I have no idea who my worst enemy is. It might be worth taking the deal so I could figure it out. Plus, knowing me, they'd probably be a pretty cool person. Hey, it's me, worst enemy. Jim is my enemy. But it turns out that Jim is also his own worst enemy. And the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So, Jim is actually my friend. Yep. My kid would benefit from his mom having 10 mil. Here I was thinking IDK who my worst enemy would be, but for 2 million I'd be fine with them getting 10. And then you had to go remind me who that would probably be. Well, I guess I still take it. I've pissed a lot of people off. $10 bill, here I come. No, you're not. I'm not accepting the $2 million, jerk. Sure. I can continue to ignore them and I get 2 mil. Easy. I don't really have any worst enemies. But I'd take the deal in a heartbeat. I'm not a petty person. 2 million means I can move anywhere in the world and not even be around my worst enemy anyway. Yes. Money is like fertilizer for all a person's flaws. I would actually enjoy watching my worst enemy destroy himself. Yeah. My dad would waste that 10 mil super fast, and probably be pressured into paying my brother's student loans first. And on the off chance he held on to any money, my brother would inherit it. So it sounds like a plan. I'm also going to point out, just for the sake of everyone in this thread, that were you really bent out of shape over your enemy's wealth, you would have more than enough money to hire a hitman. Just for your information, I've heard, if a parent unfairly excludes a child from their will, that it can be contested with a reasonable likelihood of success. Source, IDK, not a lawyer or anything. Of course. I am my own worst enemy. What can anxiety do with money? I win. As far as I know, I have no enemies. So I'll accept in order to reveal if I do or not. In my case, if I could choose who got the $10 million, sure. Because I'd make sure it was my brother. He'd be dead from an OD by sundown. My mom would get the money and it'd circle back to me in benefit. This would be a diabolical plan to end a long-time family burden. Of course. Life is not a zero-sum game, people. My worst enemy is currently my daughter's inability to stop playing and take a bath, and her inability to not take forever in the bath so we have enough time to play. Can an inability to understand time receive currency? That's a problem, not an enemy. Good try though. Would my ex-wife take this deal and leave me with 10 million? Now would I take this deal and leave my ex-wife $10 million? Yay, sure. What the hell could a spider do with 10 million? Build a spider army to attack you. Of course. Who cares about them? I'd be able to buy a nice little plot of land and build my super efficient dream home with tons of cash to spare. My worst enemy probably isn't that much of a threat. I don't do a big thing of making enemies. Their response would probably, oh, I'm 10 mil richer, let's move to somewhere else and never see me again. That isn't a great loss. Yes, I am not sure if I have a worst enemy, but if I did, she could not really do anything to hurt me with that money, but I could help myself a whole lot with an extra 2 million. The closest I have ever had to a worst enemy is morbidly obese, still lives at home, and repairs cash registers in a rural Australian town. He could use it and I don't dislike him nearly enough to not want to improve his life. I don't feel like I genuinely have any enemies. About as bad as it gets is people I don't care for. So the worst result is someone I don't care for gets 10 mil. We probably both relocate and never think about each other again. So sure, why not? Definitely. Like others have stated already, you can just ignore them and go on and live a better life. And if you really don't like the idea that your worst enemy has more money than you, with 2M you can easily find a way to steal all your enemy's money and or have your enemy mysteriously disappear. Insert joke about getting 12 mil. Let's face it. You get anybody 10 mil, you are now their best friend. You get 2 mil and a new BFF. Who'd say no? Of course. I'm not even sure who my worst enemy is. Good odds they don't actually care enough about me to use that 10 mil to make my life hell. This is a great question because it comes up all the time in politics. Often the answer is no, because how dare the other party or their constituents get any money or tax breaks at all. People will say no to helping themselves out of spite for the other person or group. Sure. I don't hate anyone enough to really be bothered if that jackass gets 10 million. Why make my life that much harder out of spite? Goddamn 2 million could set me for life. Obvious yes. If your worst enemy gets $10 mil, then they'll probably stop being your worst enemy and go live in a timeshare on an island somewhere. Even enemies deserve to relax once in a while. Well, according to some ancient saying from somewhere, I am my own worst enemy. So $12 million doesn't sound so bad. Yeah, sure. If Karen from accounting got 10 million, she wouldn't be in my life anymore, and if I got 2 million, I'd make hella sure I wouldn't be in hers. I would without a second thought. I have learned from personal experience that when you truly consider someone your sworn enemy, you don't hate him her. You just stop caring what happens to him her. So I couldn't care less if my enemy got 10M or 10 cents. I would take the 2M. Simple solution. Anonymously inform your worst enemy of a deal where they get a free 2 mil, without telling them you will get 10 mil. Okay, but really the question is, who would be my worst enemy? Is it someone I don't like? Because I'm not actively fighting anyone, that's not how I do things. If it's the person I hate most, then no fucking way would I take it. She stole money from a school, I'd rather take on 2 mil in debt if that means she got 10 mil in debt. I get 2 mil, he gets 10 mil. Both of our lives probably become more comfortable, and the 10 million he receives allows him to retire, move to Florida and enjoy time with his wife, making him less of a thorn in my side and giving me back the position he was placed into, that was stolen from me. In short, both our lives likely improve and he gets to ride into the sunset. Sounds like a good deal. Absolutely. I would use my money wisely and live within my means. My worst enemy does not have the discipline that I do, and his immense wealth, along with the idea that it was my choice to give him more money than I received, will drive him to ultimate ruin. In the long run, I will still be moderately wealthy, and as a bonus I get to enjoy the epic saga of greed, lust, and self-destruction. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe to support the channel.